Welcome to our day of learning, day of the Course of Miracles, and today we are on lesson number 329. So, the mothership can find me. What good are all the courses, initiations, and headstands if in the end the ego does the leading? Says Tosha Shilver. I couldn't go on a date without brushing my teeth or write a resume without adding my phone number. So, why start my day without tuning in to his dudeship? Lesson 329 says, I'm in whiny baby mood. As Annie Rannott calls grumpiness, the mothership can't find me. It can't rescue me. My only mission, and I choose to accept it, is to remain open to the transmission of the always circling mothership. So important to remind each one of us that life is full of pleasures, joy, peace, and so much more. And just the way God always has our back, why shouldn't we remember Him or start the day with remembering Him? Why shouldn't we go on to Him when we want to be rescued? So it's very, very important to remind ourselves that anything negative that happens, let it happen. But my only purpose, my only thing in life is to accept it gracefully and to remain open to the always circling mothership, to the always ever present God. The best practice can be. When that happens, life can become so much more easier. Lesson 330. Who wants to know? Pico Iyer says, the mind is the strutting actor on the stage who knows how to complicate the simple and unweave the rainbow. So सारा कुछ तो mind का ही खेल है ना. It's all about the mind. Mind creates, mind destructs, mind preserves, mind does it all. Mind is a storyteller, mind is a narrative maker. It's all in the mind. When we are sick, it's in the mind. When we are unwell, it's in the mind. When we are hungry, it's in the mind. Sometimes it's the body. Most likely, it's the mind. How the Jains fast for 9 days, 10 days without eating, drinking, anything. At least in Muslims, Roza, they break the fast at night after seeing the chand. But how do people go on the fast for 10 days, 15 days, longer, 1 month, and so much, so much, so much? It's all in the mind. What is the power of the mind? Mind is one place where there's acceptance and where there's refusal. Mind is one place where there's love and there's fear. There's a divine and there's an ego. One always makes you feel good, the other doesn't. I get to decide to which I'm going to listen. Lesson 330 says it's a no-brainer. Why hurt myself? Why give myself images of pain? Why I can just as easily accept my freedom, indulge in my joy. It pays to stop and question who's asking. Do we do that? Do we question ourselves? And why are we doubting? Why are we allowing ourselves to be misled? Why are we allowing ego and the mind to play games? Why can't we trust the sovereign, the benign, the forever present, the ever present God? How many of us can actually do that? We can talk about it, but always practice this. So, obviously, we are spiritual beings having a human experience, and human beings' doubts are good to come in because that's how we've been brought up with society, with conditioning, with this, with that. But are we allowing love to be present in life or are we allowing fear to take its place? The choice is always ours. Who wants to know, the ego or love? Lesson 331. Holding a luminous vision, Billy Finger says, Stay free inside the game. Find the glory inside yourself so you can dance with a little more abandon, with a little more shaking of those hips. It is so beautiful. People like there's a kahawat, right? Dance like no one's watching you. We are so conscious all the time of people, the narratives. Log kya kahenge? Will they say I'm an elegant dancer, or am I dancing like so stupidly, or I'm not well, or whatever. I'm not a person with character if I'm dancing, say, cheaply. Do I care so much about others? And if I do, why? And most of us do. And why? Why can't we let go, surrender, and just be? Anyone who has ever donned a pair of Spanx understands the state of today's world. We squeeze our big, beautiful selves, our radiant, multidimensional spirits, into a tight, uncomfortable garment known as a body. Our divine magnificence gets cut off by the tight restriction of the cultural Kool-Aid. We fall lockstep into the beliefs and traditions of our culture. However false and limiting they may be, little by little we learn the correct energetic frequency rules, allowing only a small percentage of who we really are to radiate. Lesson 331 says the spanks are completely unnecessary. It says fear is a dream, death is an illusion, life is eternal. Today I'm asked to give up suffering, abandon all sense of loss and sadness, forfeit all anxiety and doubt. The dude can then propel me into a dazzling new story, one with a guaranteed happy ending. When there's so much of light, when we all have such a beautiful perspective, vision, when we can have, why are we restricting ourselves? We are restricting, curbing our magnificence into something small. So if fear and death or all things uncertain can simply be put aside and we can enjoy today with blessings, with gratitude, and we can say today, let's let go of suffering. Let's abandon all sense of all things negative, the lower frequency emotions. Let's forfeit all anxiety and doubt. The dude can then propel me into a dazzling new story, one with a guaranteed happy ending. Only if we let go of fear. Only if we do that. Lesson 332. Red alert. Refusing to forgive is like being in the dump truck with tiny cans dragging off the backside. Clatter, clatter, clap, clap, says Glenda Green. Important safety notice. Holding on to unforgiving thoughts will cause you to lose life's normal orientation of happiness. And this is something which is so deep down etched in our mind that to get out of it is so difficult. Something happened to me in 2016 by this bunch of five women who felt threatened, five, and they had their peers. For I was a new radical bringing in changes to a new organization, and they were like, what is she up to? We don't want these changes because change is something not everybody embraces. And they did everything in their might to pull me down, do whatever. Ultimately, all things that I thought of came true because the flow of the organization at the AGM went with my new radical thought. But that 1 year until the AGM happened, there was mayhem. I kept trying to be strong. I was broken many times, but I kept trying to be strong. I said, no, I'm a fighter. This is for a larger cause. Let's do it. It's betterment for so many members. Let me not succumb. But last night, something happened, something triggered. And I'm like, oh God, 2016 it happened, 2026 it happened. Why is it happening to me? And I abused those bunch of women. Imagine 10 years ago that happened. After that, I wiped them clean from my data bank. No Facebook, no Instagram, no phone memory, no contacts, nothing, none so whatsoever. Because I don't wish to be in touch. Done with them. Of course, I met them this year in Delhi. They'd come for a wedding. Okay, hi, Ram Ram, Sham Sham, done. But nothing like a very endearing, oh, what's up types. But this is a red alert, a red flag. We are holding on to these memories which are uncomfortable, which are not making sense because they're etched in our fertile soil of our mind. We've given them seeds, have been sown, and they've sprung into plants, maybe into trees, and they've made their place. So now, if you have to uproot them, बहुत मेहनत उसको uproot करना पड़ेगा. Only then can we really, really, really be eternally happy. If we believe that we were wronged, then obviously we will not be able to forgive them and forgive ourselves. And when we'll believe in that, we'll always be chained to the past and the negative narrative. So it's very important for all of us to avoid making any quick movements that could cause us to judge and injure ourselves. ये हो जाता है knowingly unknowingly. अगर इससे फ्री होना है, so we have to really work hard. And work hard for what actually? Maybe I said it wrong. Rather than working hard, we have to work in a place where we give ourselves a higher goal, a higher narrative, and we say these people came. Rhonda Byrne had this beautiful book, Power, in that she says such people are PETs, personal emotional trainers. Thank them that they came to challenge you, to break you, to make you, to train you into today the who you are. So if the minute you change the narrative that, oh my God, they did wrong to me, they made life difficult for me. So the 1 year of that was beautiful for me because I learned so much. I learned my own strengths. I learned how to survive. They trained me. If they were not there, how would I have done that? And when we do that, we are not judging, we are not injuring ourselves. What does it mean by injure? If I like, I thought about that episode 10 years after now. Didn't I injure myself? Again, I went to the same thing of thinking about what happened. And right now, the third time, the second time, again, I talked about it. Whatever you focus on expands. So, why am I even doing that? Even to just give you an example, why am I doing that? Because that's what humans do, making mistakes again and again and again, going on a loop again and again and again. If you continue believing your mind's futile thoughts, you're guaranteed to feel unwell. So you think, how would I be feeling? I woke up this morning. How would I be feeling? I couldn't sleep till 3:30 at night. Something triggered, and that thought came in. I became so anxious I couldn't sleep. I tried deep breathing. I'd forgotten about deep breathing until 3:30. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so silly. That deep breath makes me sleep in a minute. And 5 deep breaths and I sleep. And yesterday, probably by the third deep breath, I'd conked off. When your mind is erratic, when the mind is troubled, it forgets. And the best way to settle it when you're anxious is breathe. Concentrate or focus on something higher which makes you happy. Think of happy thoughts. Think of some good smells. Think of some good touch, some good feel. There's exercise of 5 things which you can, feel. 5 things which you can, 4 things which you can hear, 3 things which you can touch, 2 things that you can smell, 1 thing that you can. इसका एहसास बहुत अच्छा रहता है. And your mind is just going to get better. Or the simplest way, count backwards. But I feel counting backwards is momentary. Thinking about something, these five things, is at least taking your consciousness, your frequency on a higher level because you have felt those five things, and that too with counts. So, if we really want to feel well, we have to change ourselves. Please don't please don't drive, drink alcohol, operate heavy machinery, or pass judgment on anyone without your vicinity while consuming fear and believing its ugly thoughts. मैं तो बोलती हूँ, even forget ugly thoughts. Why judge anybody? She's like this, she's like that, he's like this, he's like that. ये तो ऐसा ऐसा ही करेगा. इसने मुझसे ये क्यों पूछ लिया? हाउ डेयर शी? या इसने मुझे ये क्यों बोल दिया? हाउ डेयर ही? Last night I became a victim again. Self-inflicted victimization. My backside neighbors are Muslims. Today is Bakri Eid. So पहले 2-3 दिन पहले they would band the bakri on the backyard, and my room is on the backside of the house. And where the bakris are bleeding, my room is right there. And I just became so uncomfortable, so anxious because few years ago I'd seen Bakri Eid. Unknowingly I'd seen that sight of the butchering happening and then all the blood, and I'm like, oh my God. So every Bakri Eid, I go through the trauma. I'm like, why do they do this? Yeah, why can't they do it in some other mosque or somewhere else? Why at home? Why in, and why? I became so uncomfortable. That somehow led to why people do this. And because this person is a Muslim. So that Muslim friend of mine, so-called friend, a personal emotional trainer, you know how mind plays games? This Muslim, just one little thing to that person, because I don't know too many of them. And then the entire storyline. That is how mind is. Red alert. हमें नशा किस चढ़ा हुआ है नेगेटिविटी का unknowingly. Why? Why talk negative about yourself or anybody? Who's given us a business? But can we actually stay away from that? Yesterday, I was doing a session which I wish I had shared with you all. I just completely forgot about aura reading for 3 days with one of my other healer friends. And when he was talking, I was like, yes, we are trapped. I think this is what the Course in Miracles is teaching us again and again and again. And then he was talking about aura and how it changes our frequency. I'm like, every day we're talking about this. If you want to send me a DM, I'm going to send you the video recording of that session. I think by now it should have come. And if you want, you can join the live session today at 8:30. It's always good to upgrade ourselves and learn something better. Of course, it's a little too much information, but how much ever we can sink in. It is so imperative that all of us change ourselves, drop our fears, drop beliefs pertaining to fears. And if that happens, we don't allow it to happen. We discontinue it immediately. We says Control Alt Delete. Stop right here. And I stopped thinking about this. And now I only think about love, light, peace, God's blessings. So Pam Crowd says, if this happens, please discontinue its use immediately, which will allow light, hope, and peace to shine through. कहते हैं ना ब्लैक कलर नहीं पहनना चाहिए ज्यादा स्पेशली मंदिर में तो बिल्कुल भी नहीं unless and until you're going to specific mandirs where you only wear black. South, I'm forgetting there's a mandir. I'm just forgetting. I'd gone there and I wasn't even allowed to climb up because I was 42 and I was like, I've traveled all the way from north of India. I'm doing all the seven chakra ka mandirs. Why am I not allowed to do this one? Because you're still menstruating. I just forgot the name. Why is black there? Black doesn't allow anything to enter through you. When you're depressed, the light can't come in. We have to change our frequency by forcing ourselves to step out, to open the curtains to see the sunshine, to go out, open the balcony, see the sunshine, to step out on the terrace or in the garden to see the sunshine. When we connect with Mother Nature in its totality, in its beautiful rawness, we will allow the light to enter through us in so many beautiful ways. We have a soul star chakra, everybody knows, right? It's up 18 inches above our head. That is the antenna. That is how things transmit within us. Agar hamara chakra purple, which is in color, we have 7 chakras, physical chakras, energy spots in our body. And then there are two. One is the earth chakra, which is below our feet, and one is the soul star chakra above our head. So if we really want to be, yesterday Nishant said in a session, and it reminded me again, I always knew, but things are reminder. He's like, if you want the connection, you have to go and allow that Wi-Fi to come in, right? आप इंटरनेट से कितना ही कर लेंगे, आप अगर वायर लगाए वो लिमिटेड डेटा बैंक है, बैंडविड्थ है, कितना ही आप उसमें डाउनलोड कर लो, कितना क्या कर लोगे. Wi-Fi रहने से it becomes easier, right? That's how the soul chakra is infinite. And आजकल तो कितना हो गया, 2 GB कितना यूज कर लोगे, hardly, right? So infinite data you can absorb. And why were we told कि नंगे पाँव चलो, घास पे चलो, मदर अर्थ में चलो, work with mother earth, you'll be happier, you'll be healed? Because mother earth is a healer. She's Ma Gaiya. When we walk in her, our feet has acupressure points, right? They heal, they get pressed, and we become better, healthy, wealthy, wise. So we have to allow ourselves to heal. Lesson number 333. What they say is irrelevant. You move totally away from reality when you believe there is legitimate reason to suffer, says Byron Katie. बहुत शौक है ह्यूमन बींग्स को विक्टिमाइज करने का. मेरे साथ ऐसा हुआ. स्टोरीज ऐसे बनाई जाती है माइंड में, इनको हम बिलीव कर लेते हैं. मेरे साथ ऐसा हुआ, उसने ऐसा किया. बट जब हम उस उसका पहलू सुनेंगे, चाहे वो 26 साल की, 27-30 साल के बाद वो पहलू, तो एक नई ट्रुथ सामने दिखने में आएगा. क्या पता जो हमें लगा था कि उसने मेरा ऐसा किया, उसके साथ भी ऐसा हुआ. Lesson 333. Forgiveness ends the dream of conflict here. Ask me to shine away conflict and doubt. It asks me to take responsibility for designing my own life. Most of us believe our job in life is to set boundaries, to figure out what's not working and then to eradicate it. People who do us wrong, gone. Parents who didn't act like Warden June Cleaver, out the window. The attitude always negates who we are. It's like signing the paper to a new house, walking in the front door and storming out because there isn't any furniture. Only one person who can furnish the house. It's up to you to create the kind of life you want. It's up to you to shine the light. So often we get indignant, I deserve much better than this, and you are right, you do. But it is your responsibility alone to create much better than this. हमारे अंदर सब कुछ है. हमें अपने अंदर से उसको निकालना है जिससे हमें हेल्प मिले. अल्टीमेटली हमें खुद को ही अपनी हेल्प करनी पड़ती है. I deserve better. I deserve. अरे तो create better things, circumstances. No, that person did wrong to me. I couldn't do business with him or work with him because he broke me. He also made you. Something's good happened also out of it. So be grateful for that. Those personal emotional trainers, broke you, but they also made you. They did so much more for you, whoever they were. It could come in the form of your co-sister, your mother-in-law, your business partner, your spouse, your parent, your a child, anybody could be a personal emotional trainer. What they say is not important. What they say is irrelevant. What you say is important. These personal emotional trainers or these people who are saying whatever have power only if you give it power by believing in it, by expanding in it. Remember the Buddha story, remember? Where Buddha says, I don't take anybody's bad things or whatever because the other monks getting angry that itna gali de rahe hain samne wale. Buddha is smiling away. So Buddha said, I don't give it. एक कान सुना दूसरे से निकाल दिया, मैं expand ही नहीं कर रहा. तुम अभी तक story में फंसे हुए हो. तुम अभी तक सोच रहे हो. Why? People do us wrong. Finished. People who don't act like this, finished. People who do this, that, finished. My attitude is the most important. If I make the best of every situation, so it is. So let's start affirming this. I'm always guided with the best possible outcome at every given situation. I'm guided with wisdom, with love, with ease, with light. I flow and bend with ease. Use affirmations whenever you're stuck into something bad. इमेजिन हनी आपकी फिंगर में लगे चिप 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 चिप, फिंगर अब स्टिक हो रही है, आप साथ में पानी नहीं है, साबुन नहीं, कैसे धोगे? आपको एफर्ट करना पड़ेगा, धीरे धीरे वेट करना पड़ेगा, सूखे उसको रगड़ना पड़ेगा. धीरे धीरे हनी विल ड्राई अप and it will just fall out like papdi because you're rubbing it. Similarly, all of us have to keep rubbing into a consciousness of the new reality we want to create by throwing away the out, discarding the old, fading away the old, and letting the old fade away, wash away. We are the light. We deserve better. Yes, I do. We deserve the world. And we have the world. All we do is tap into it. You may be in a relationship that isn't loving. You may have a job that doesn't trip your trigger. But there's only one person with the power to change these things. You want to be in a relationship that's not loving? You can move out or give it so much love that he or she loves you back. You have a job that doesn't help you in terms of passion, purpose. Either you leave it and move to something better, or you create your passion, purpose, and that somehow find a way. Calling out a search party for the next guy, the next job, the next self-help book is like calling the fire department to blow out the candles on your birthday cakes. Take what you have now. Take the relationships you have now. Take the job you have now. Take the home you have now. And let the holiest turn them into something beautiful. Gratitude is the biggest multiplier. When you find yourself complaining, especially in the first 3 minutes or the 30 minutes of waking up, Control Alt Delete, go on to gratitude. Thank you for the restful sleep. Today, like I've slept from 3:30 to 5, right? It's okay. For the 1.5 hour sleep, thankful for this, thankful for that, thankful for the loo, thankful for the water, thankful for the AC, thankful for the chadar, whatever. Complain aane se pehle, grateful to the body, to the mind, to the soul, to so much. Surrender. 334. Last, I'm going to read is 559, didn't even realize. Rewriting Murphy's Law. Elizabeth Hackett says, reading the morning news is like opening the bedroom door in Poltergeist and seeing shit flying all around the room. Murphy's Law, a famous adage that most of us live by, states anything that can go wrong will go wrong. Lesson 334 begs to differ. It is only our belief in problems that perpetuates the problems. Again, what you focus on expands. A constant struggle to awaken is the very obstacle to its accomplishment. जितना हम स्ट्रगल करेंगे उतना हम उसको पावर देंगे. अगर हम इसे खत्म करना है तो हमें इसके बारे में सोचना नहीं है. प्रॉब्लम है, सोल्यूशन है. लेट्स एक्सपैंड ऑन द सोल्यूशन रादर देन प्रॉब्लम. Whenever I'm being my mind's bitch, I'm not living in my natural state of joy. I'm not living my truth, which is that I'm already free and infinite. Instead of looking for the next teacher, the next book, the next process, I would like to suggest we spend time following the dude's law that states anything that can go right will. Isn't that beautiful? हम wrong की बात ही क्यों करें जब right है तो? Once we start noticing all that's going right, that is all we will see. And that's so true. Again, focus, what would you focus on expands? सब कुछ जो correct चल रहा है लाइफ उसको देखेंगे तो वही expand करेंगे. With this, we close today's session. We'll see each other tomorrow. This book has 365 lessons, 365 days के लिए one lesson each. We've of course done it over 2 months. So we have 30 more lessons to go. So I think in 3 days or 4 days, by the end of May, we should be wrapping up the book. So much more love, so much more light to everybody. I shall see you in the gap tomorrow, same time, same place for more lessons. Up until then, let's keep revisiting these and see each other. So much love. Thank you.
Thank you, Raj.